Okay, guys, we're back at it again with my 1985 F150 4x4. I didn't show the motor the last time. Well, maybe I did. I just left the cover off. But anyway, so what I'm doing today is I had to remove an aftermarket fuel tank switchover valve, which is this one right here. And the reason why is because of how difficult it is to wire it up. I would have to go away from the stock switchover switch and use an aftermarket switch. And the reason why is because that valve switches over by reversing polarity. In other words, ground becomes positive, positive becomes ground, and to switch it one way and then back it the other way. And so what I had to do is I had to go back in with a stock fuel switchover valve or fuel tank switchover valve. So my rear tank will always be open or pulling when the valve is not energized. Once the valve is energized, then it starts pulling from my side tank here. So this is what I did. I went back to the original type switchover valve. And the reason why I have to do two of them is because one valve is for the return right here. This is the return for the back tank. And there's the fuel line back here for the back tank. So they're both at the bottom. When both of these are de-energized, the valves, then I'm pulling fuel from the back and I'm sending fuel back to the back tank on the return line here. Once I energize it, both valves will be energized for the front tank. And then I'm pulling fuel from this top line here, which is the front tank, and returning it to the front tank here. So that's what I came up with to get that thing situated out. So today, that's what I worked on today. And also my return lines, my vent tubes, I'm sorry. I just bought some 1/4-inch tubing and ran my vent tube for the front tank. And just strapped it to the rail here. I got these cool little things on Amazon or eBay where, you just stick them into the hole, clip them into the hole, and, basically it's a strap. It's a tie wrap. So I've got that strapped to there, and I'm going to run it underneath here and just leave it loose because I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. Maybe up under the fender well on the passenger side, back in the back on the bed. And so also I've ran the vent for the rear tank here, strapped it to the rail, and I'm going to strap it here also, and then I'm just going to leave it hanging at the bottom of the truck until I get to that point where I want, get the bed on and stuff like that. So that's what's going on with my fuel. I'm about to put the bed on the truck. That's why I wanted to do one last video, because after this week, the cab will be on the truck and probably the bed, because I've pretty much got everything I need to get done. I want to do as much stuff as I can standing up. And then, if I forget something, it's my own fault that I would have to be under the truck. Fuel and also the transmission kickdown cable. Now, I could go back with the original transmission kickdown cable. Let me come over here where it's at. To C6 transmission. And I could go back in, but, previous owners had, done some rigging up here. This homemade bracket basically sit right here. There's a nut, it's a bolt welded on, and it's sitting right here like that. And basically the factory cable sit right here, and then there's that's not the actual kickdown bracket that was on here. That's one I found in the junkyard. I just started pulling kickdown brackets off transmissions at a certain point, because this is the the bracket that was on the truck when I drove it home. And look, I had no problems with the transmission. It actually shifted and ran perfect. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get a little bit better look underneath here. And I'm going to try to install a low car transmission kickdown kit on here. So I've got to work out the bracketry and get something going and maybe get that on there. If not, then, you know, I may have to go back to the original bracketry and maybe clean it up a little bit and maybe make a different bracket but in the same spot type deal, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. So here's what else? I got the gas line back here coming off the valve and the return line. And they're down the frame and then up and over here. I think I gave myself enough to do what I got to do. So that's what I've been doing today. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, I got, I'm currently working on getting some mirrors on. And it looks like I found some, but they're a little bit, they don't fit. They don't seem like they fit well because the originals are a little bit wider than this. So, and you see how thin this metal is compared with the original. Let me see. I guess that's what happens when you get aftermarket stuff. Here's the original bracket. Let me bring it over here. The original bracket. I mean, massive, massive difference. I mean, it's not even, the original mirror is probably 2.5 times thicker than this aftermarket crap. So, that's, man, I'm thinking about taking the mirror off. That's why I've taken the mirror off, the old mirror off, because that was what was, bad was the mirror. I finally got it off, man. It was rusted on there pretty good. You can see I kind of grinded on a little bit, so I got to fix that somehow if I want to do it. And then take that mirror off right there that's just held on by a bolt and put it in right there. And then I've retained the original, brackets and just put some new mirrors on. I think that's what I'm going to do. It just looks, that stuff just, it looks like it's going to be vibrating going down the road and, it's just not going to hold up. So anyway, guys, that's where I've gotten so far today. I'm going to keep working on it. I think probably the next time I do a video, it'll be with the cab on, or us putting the cab on. And then that's when I was going to show you the paint and stuff on the cab. You probably saw it a little bit in this video here behind me. But that's when I really want to, do a little video on the color. So far, so good. Not too bad. Just working out the little things I got to work out before I put the cab on, because I definitely don't want to, I want to minimize having to be on my back underneath the truck. So if I can get everything done while I'm standing up, that'd be much better for me. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. If you've got any questions, throw them out there, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or if you want to see something, I'll make you a video on that. There's so much that I did with this truck that there's so many things here that have been done. Like I said, I've pretty much gone through every bolt, grinded on every bolt, and done some fabrication, which I'm not used to, but I learned how to weld. I know that. I bought a cheap Harbor Freight welder and learned how to, weld, especially the bracket right here. I welded. This was my first actual job right here, was welding this bracket up with some 3/16 inch steel for my steering stabilizer. So I felt like I did a pretty good job there. I had some guys look at the welds, and it seems like everything, is pretty dang solid and turned out pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, the true test is going down the road in it, I guess. And then my other project was making a bracket that would give me some clearance for the second. Actually, the the other valve was, I pulled it away from the inside of the frame because it was too big, but it came in handy so that I could offset the other valve, this valve, so it's not sitting on top of the other one. So those are my two welding jobs, and then of course, on my last video I showed you guys that I had some issues with the frame, spiders. It spidered on us a little bit. We welded that up. I actually had a friend do that because it was just too much. It seemed like it was a little more important. I didn't want to learn on, putting welding a frame up. So he did that. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. If there's a video out there you want to see, let me know. Thanks. Bye.